moment of silence for the sick and this recently deceased in Bridgeville. All right. Sorry for being late. Okay, roll call.
Mr. Maroli. Here. Mr. Koshalski. Here. Mr. Colosimo.
Here.
Mr. Ferry. Present. Mr. Franchik.
Here.
Mr. Petroselli.
Here.
Mr. Sarasik.
Here.
Mayor Copeland. Here. Solicitor McDermott.
Here.
Engineer Heil.
Here.
Chief James.
Here.
Chief Castain. And then Chief Miller.
Here.
All right. So, let's see, the visitors are Maureen Johnson. If you could come up to the podium and your name and address, please. You have 3 minutes.
My name is Maureen Johnson, and I live at 611 Winfield Street. Thank you for the time to speak tonight on an issue that's been of increasing concern for me. I've lived in the South Hills most of my life and have been a Bridgeville resident for almost 3 years, along with my husband, 5-year-old son, and 7-month-old puppy. The character in the homes and neighborhood, along with the proximity to local businesses, the public library and parks, and overall walkability drew us to the area. While I have an appreciation for the traffic calming efforts in our neighborhood, myself and many neighbors frequently see motorists speeding down Winfield, rolling through the stop signs both at Lafayette and Bank as they cut through to avoid the intersection at Bank and Chartiers. The borough's installation of stop signs at Winfield and Lafayette, championed by my next door neighbor Ray, have been, and the partnership with PennDOT, installing the bump outs and pedestrian crosswalks on Bank, are both very appreciated and were necessary steps to slow traffic through the area. I'm also incredibly appreciative of the police department for strategic enforcement efforts at Winfield and Lafayette. We're always thrilled to see officers at that intersection, and they may have seen me or my family giving them a thumbs up or waving when they inevitably pull someone over. That said, I and many of my neighbors believe now is the time to consider additional traffic calming measures on Winfield. There are more children in the area now, walking to and from school buses and walking to friends' houses, families walking through the neighborhood, and people walking to the PRT stops. I'm sure there's plenty of data available from the number of traffic stops made by our local officers, as well as reports from school bus drivers, other motorists, and pedestrians. I understand PennDOT is looking into the impacts of installing a roundabout at Bank and Chartiers. I believe that effort shows PennDOT's awareness of how dangerous that intersection is, and that motorists are using Winfield and other residential streets as cut-throughs. Installing a traffic counter and speed monitor will not only address some of the issues, but also provide sufficient data to justify installing a speed hump or speed fill-out. There are options available that ensure emergency vehicles, snow removal processes, and sanitation trucks are not impacted. As residents, we have a reasonable expectation of safety when we use sidewalks and crosswalks. And because we live here and want to ensure everyone's safety, we are willing to help make this a reality. Whether it be door-to-door polling to support our efforts, conducting research, or helping with writing grant submissions, we are willing to put in the work alongside the borough to address this issue. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to the opportunity to work on this further with you.
Thank you. All right, Emily McCraney.
Hello, my name is Emily McCraney, and I live on the corner of Chartiers and Winfield. I'm here to share concerns about the increased traffic in our neighborhood and safety risks it is creating. I've lived in Bridgeville for 3.5 years, and in that time, I've seen a noticeable rise in commuters using Winfield as a cut-through between South Fayette and Upper St. Clair. Along with that increase has come frequent speeding and drivers who fail to stop at this posted sign completely. A stop sign was installed in 2019 after a traffic study and resident request. While it may have helped at the time, we believe it is no longer enough. Traffic has continued to grow and unsafe behavior has become consistent. Vehicles regularly travel at high speeds and often ignore the stop sign entirely. What was once a quiet residential street is now being used to avoid main roads and nearby intersections. What is small convenience for drivers has become a serious safety concern for the residents. Since the stop sign was installed, more than 10 children have moved on to Winfield and Lafayette, 3 of them my own. My youngest child has vision impairment, bilateral hearing loss, and is an elopement risk. While we are always hypervigilant, we know accidents can still happen, and fast-moving traffic greatly increases that risk. We are constantly concerned for the safety of every child and resident in our neighborhood. Recently, I witnessed multiple vehicles ignore the stop sign within a short period. That led me to observe traffic more closely. Last Thursday afternoon, I counted 61 vehicles passing through in a 10-minute period. Only 8 came to a complete stop. I repeated this the next day with similar results. Most drivers barely slowed, some did not acknowledge the stop sign at all. Arguing that the idea of what I view as a complete stop may differ from everyone else's, that does not negate the fact that more than 60 cars travel through a residential side street during non-peak hours within such a short time frame. What we are experiencing is a mismatch, a residential street being used as a main thoroughfare without the infrastructure to keep people safe. At this point, it feels like we're waiting for a serious incident to happen, and that's what we want to prevent. I respectfully ask the council to consider installing a speed bump or a similar traffic calming measure. These are proven to reduce speeds, improve safety, and discourage cut-through traffic. Unlike signs, which drivers often ignore over time, physical measures are far more effective. Studies also prove that drivers are far more likely to speed on either side of the stop sign to make up for their perceived lost time. I understand that there may be concerns about snowplows or emergency vehicles, but speed cushions are designed to accommodate them while slowing regular traffic. We ask that this issue be taken seriously and evaluated as soon as possible. Our goal is simple: to restore our street to a safe residential environment where children can play and families can feel secure. Thank you so much for your time.
I do have one question. How many children have moved onto the street?
It was kind of hard to word that. Between children that were born to families already living there and families who have moved in, over 10 on Winfield and Lafayette alone, at least. And that's my count.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Melissa Giuliani. Name and address, please.
Melissa Giuliani, 1096 Lafayette Street. I don't have much to say because Emily and Maureen have covered this beautifully, but I do support the need for us to look at this at that intersection in that part of the neighborhood and address some kind of additional traffic calming. I was standing outside with a couple of neighbors yesterday afternoon, and in like direct contradiction to what Emily noticed when nobody's around, we were standing facing Winfield, and every car stopped, full and complete stop at that intersection during the hour and a half that we were standing outside, like looking at the street. So I do think people know, and they're just taking advantage of it. So I'm happy to work with council on any solutions as well. Thank you.
All right. I should say that we had it right before this meeting. We had an executive meeting. The Borough Council met in executive session prior to the start of the meeting to discuss a legal matter. All right. So, business. A motion to approve the March 9th, 2026 regular meeting minutes as submitted. I need a motion.
I'll make the motion.
I need a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any say nay? Okay, motion passes. A motion to approve the April 2026 bill list. I need a motion.
Motion.
Second.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any nay? Motion passes. A motion to approve the April 17th, 24, May 1st, and May 8th, 2026 payrolls. I need a motion.
Make a motion.
Second. All right. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any noes? Motion passes. A motion to adopt resolution number 2026-10, a resolution of the Borough of Bridgeville authorizing the submission of a banner permit to PennDOT to display a banner for Day on the Avenue over Washington Avenue. I need a motion.
So moved.
I need a second.
Second.
Any discussion? When's Bridgeville Days?
Saturday, June 20th.
Day on the Avenue. Okay. I need, all in favor say aye. Any nays? Motion passes. A motion to adopt ordinance number 1035, an ordinance of the Borough of Bridgeville, amending its Code of Ordinances, Chapter 15, Motor Vehicles and Traffic, Part 4, General Parking Regulations, to add new provisions restricting or prohibiting the parking or storage of uninspected, unregistered, or dismantled motor vehicles or non-motorized trailers, campers, RVs, machinery, equipment, garbage/refuse containers, moving or storage containers on any borough streets and alleys. I need a motion.
I'll make a motion. I'll second.
Any discussion?
Justine, I have a question on that.
What else, the one? Yeah,
Can you hear me all right? I'm sorry, I get terrible service.
yeah.
Hey, in that permit, it talks about temp parking permits issued, referencing 15 TAC 413 Alpha. Question is, how would these work? Joe Tower, that's probably more a question for you or Chief James.
That's a Tom.
He tossed it to me. And I was going to clarify as well. There's a distinction made between the uninspected, dismantled vehicles, which is, you're not allowed to park those at all for any period of time. The second category, which is trailers, camper, RVs, boats, jet skis, and whatnot, that's it. You're allowed to have them on the street, but not in excess of 48 hours.
Okay.
With regard to your question, Mr. Councilman, that they can get permission from the manager to have authority to have get a permit, a temporary parking permit that would allow them for a valid reason to secure a permit for an excess of those 48 hours. That would just be an administrative permit that Joe can
Can we
issue.
work with the chief?
Yeah.
So it's like a dumpster.
Yes, that's how we handle dumpsters.
Pretty much like they handle dumpsters now.
Okay, so just contact the borough and inquire about that.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, great, thank you. That's all I had, Madam President.
All right, any other questions? I need a call for vote. All in favor say aye. Anyone against say nay. Motion passes. Okay, a motion to accept the lowest responsible bid received from Youngblood Paving, Inc. in the amount of $331,312 for the base bid, Sarah Street and Missouri Avenue, and add alternate number 2, half of Laurie Street, of the 2026 roadway program, subject to the contractor obtaining the required insurance certificates, performance bond, payment bond, and review and approval of same by the borough solicitor prior to execution of the agreement by the borough.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion?
I have a question. What side of Laurie Street is that, Joe? My side or the other side? My side, okay, thank you.
Okay. All in favor say aye. Anyone against? Motion passes. A motion to authorize the disbursement of $86,500 from the Capital Project Fund to Sports and Recreation Associates for invoice number 2 of the Chartiers Park Shelter number 1 construction project. I I need a motion.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion?
Joe, that's coming along really well, right?
Yes.
Do you know when that's gonna be open?
I think our goal is still the end of the month, early next month, at the latest.
So,
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any against? Motion passes. Do we have any reservations for that yet?
First one's May 16th, so there's a hard deadline.
A motion to designate the Tribune Review Pittsburgh edition as the official newspaper of general circulation to advertise official notices for the borough.
I so moved.
I need a second.
second?
Any discussion?
Yeah, Joe, I had a question. Is there any movement, I know under the comments they were talking about maybe starting a borough online,
I know there's talk about it, but,
or just talk?
yeah, the post is, that's done.
Right.
End of this month, so we're in the paper now.
So we need to have it immediately until that's approved.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
All right, all in favor say aye. All against say nay. Motion passes. A motion to authorize the public advertisement of a public hearing to be held on Monday, May 11th, 2026 at 6:45 PM for an application of Pittsburgh Pottery LLC seeking conditional use approval for a light manufacturing facility at 414 Margaret Street. I need a motion.
I make a motion.
Second.
I second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye. All against say nay. Motion passes. Now that goes, after it gets approved, then it goes where? After a year?
You scheduled the public hearing. The
Yeah.
planning commission has already reviewed it.
Correct.
And recommended approval without any conditions. We're required to have a public hearing where we give
Okay.
notice to all property owners within 300 feet of the property, run a legal ad, now in the Tribune Review. And we'll have that hearing. We have to have it within 60 days of the application. The 60th day is actually our May council meeting.
Oh,
So we're
okay.
set up to have it at the May meeting. And then you guys can entertain giving any conditions to the permit or giving it a thumbs up. And then after that, he has zoning approval, and he just needs to get a building permit for all the construction work.
Okay, so now in the planning discussion that we had, he needed to plant a couple of trees and all that has to be done for final decision? Okay.
Yes.
All right. All right, okay, motion to approve bond reduction request number 2 from Calcraft Roofing, 372 Commercial Street. The borough engineer recommends reducing the bond amount from $3,355 to $0, as all necessary improvements and work have been completed. I need a motion.
Make a motion.
I need a second.
Second?
Any questions?
Just clarification, what all was need to be completed?
It was just restoration, basically, grass growth, things like that.
Okay, so it had nothing to do with,
You know, they had to close out their NPDES permit, the county conservation district, and it was essentially just waiting on grass to grow.
that's relevant.
It's always the case that happens.
Right, all right, thank you.
All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone against? Motion passes. A motion to authorize R&R Masonry Restoration to complete masonry restoration and general repointing work on the borough building at a cost not to exceed $10,900. I need a motion.
So moved.
I need a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Anyone against? Motion passes. A motion to authorize disbursement of a real estate tax refund due to change in assessment to the following. A, SHIV Land Company, LLC, Rite Aid Store number 10892, parcel 322-A-69, years 2024 and 2025. Total $30,442.87. I need a motion.
That's a tough one to make.
Yeah.
Too much money.
It's never fun to get money back.
If I might say, it's somewhat of a ministerial act. The matter's been resolved by the courts. Just by way of background, as you know, with Rite Aid being in bankruptcy and whatnot, there were valuation appeals that have been running on all of its properties all across the county. They were kind of consolidated within a single venue, and I can assure you several, in the school districts, they kind of lead the appeals on these. Several school districts were involved in this. It came to be learned, I think, that the school districts could not disagree that some of the assessed values that were based on leases prior to the bankruptcy years were not realistic, and possibly accounts for part of the bankruptcy. But this is based on what the school districts were comfortable with was a realistic assessed value for the properties for those years. I understand there may be a new occupant.
Yes, and permits have been applied for that.
We'll certainly track those with the school district solicitors to see if it's right for an appeal in the upcoming year as well.
Tom, just a point of information, could you speak at all as to why there's a year reach back on that?
The reach back, well, because what happens is the tax appeals, they can cascade from year to year, so the first appeal must have been filed for the year 2024. I actually believe the recesses in my memory, there were prior appeals that were actually concluded for years before
Right,
that,
yeah.
under Orion. By the time they got through BPAR, which is the administrative level, and up to an appeal to the Board of Viewers, and then they had several conferences and potential hearings, exchange information. By the time you get through that process, you end up in the next tax year, so then they end up filing an appeal for that one, and they kind of just end up all over.
All right.
I just had another question. Would not their value have increased when we did the bridge project? And why was that not assessed on these times?
Yeah.
I don't think.
Those, and again, the expert appraisers, and I think that school districts, by and large, will agree, there's different methodologies for different uses. On a rental, there's a long-term rental property, they're based on comparables that are based on the value of the highest value of rent that one could get. They, the experts, exchanged a lot of information on that, and that was kind of the segment that they amicably agreed was reasonable.
All right, anything else? Jason?
Guess I'll make a motion.
Yes, I said yes.
All right. All in favor, say aye. All against, say nay. Motion passes. A motion to accept the revised April 2026 Police Pension Plan, MMO, based on a decrease in police contribution rate in the amount of $95,490 as prepared by the plan actuary. I need a motion.
I'll make a motion.
I need a
second.
second. Any discussion? And an MMO again is,
Minimum municipal obligation, that's the borough's bill to the pension fund.
okay, all right. All in favor say aye. All against say nay. Motion passes. A motion to adopt resolution 2026-11, a resolution of the Borough of Bridgeville, Allegheny County, Pennsylvania, setting the police pension fund contributions to fund the shortfall in the police pension fund evidenced by an independent actuarial study and as permitted by previous ordinances and the police collective bargaining agreement. I need a motion.
I'll make a motion.
I need a second.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor say aye. Anyone against? Say nay. Okay, motion passes. A motion to approve and grant a borough earned income tax credit for the year 2025 in accordance with Chapter 24 of the Bridgeville Code of Ordinances, Part 1, Section 111, tax credits for volunteer firefighters of the Bridgeville Volunteer Fire Department for the eligible and active members as recommended by the fire chief. I need a motion.
A motion.
I need a second. And I have a question. Can you explain this process, Jeff, please?
Yes, the borough has a program to give earned income tax credits to Bridgeville Fire Department members who live within the borough, up to $300 for eligible active. And it's broken down to two groups. They have certain specifications or criteria you have to meet. If you're a firefighter, you have to answer at a minimum of 20% of the emergency calls, 20% of fundraising activities, make half of the monthly meetings, and then have a minimum of 100 hours of service, with 25% of that being the weekly trainings. And then associate members, so if you were just want to assist in an administrative role and not be a fireman, you have to do 40 hours of service, 6 meetings, and 20% of the fundraising activity. And we have about 10 or so, 12 that meet the criteria for this year.
Yeah, great.
And this is done every year.
Right.
And then what we'll do is we'll send this over to Jordan Tax, that will issue the refunds when the firefighter fills out the earned income tax credit, their annual return form. If they don't fill out a return form, they don't get the refund.
All right. And these are all volunteers?
Yep.
Great, okay. All right, so I need a motion. I need a second.
Second.
Any discussion?
Oh, I
All
think
in favor, say aye.
I think I can speak for the whole council, and that it's the least we can do for
Yes.
all the hours and the great effort that the fire department gives for our community.
There was a huge discussion at Alum about how their lack of volunteers is hurting almost everybody. So I'm glad we have the 12. All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone against say nay. Motion passes. Okay, a motion to accept and pay any commission due March 2026 real estate tax collector report. I need a motion.
Motion.
I need a second.
Second.
Discussion.
I just have a question going back to line item 12. With that refund to real estate, does that affect this tax collector's commission?
No.
No, okay.
She's only paid a commission on delinquent real estate taxes. These haven't been paid
Yeah.
yet, delinquent.
Thank you.
All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone against? Motion passes. A motion to acknowledge receipt of the March 2026 Treasurer's Report. I need a I need a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Any? Yeah, you did 60. Yeah. All in favor say aye again, please. Anyone against? Okay, motion passes. Committee reports, administration, and I do have something to report this week, is that several of us attended Allen, which is a Allegheny County municipal organization.
League of Municipalities.
I'm sorry?
The League of Municipalities.
League of I can't even talk. Anyway, so I think a good time was had by all. We had a lot of very interesting discussions in regards to police departments and volunteer fire departments and EMS departments, and what communities are trying to do to thrive and make their residents' life a lot easier. I mean, everybody, I think, is hurting right about now, trying to keep going. So it's going to be an interesting next couple of years. So what I've asked the people that attended to say one or two things about what you thought was important for yourself at the time. Joe?
Well, as we discussed tonight, we got the review in the paper, but they talk about the proposed Gazette being done. And they mentioned Pittsburgh Courier and a couple other smaller newspapers would qualify also as papers to advertise our news or news bids or whatever. They also brought up that there are two bills in the legislature right now, House Bill, specs on here, 1291 and Senate Bill 194, which would deal with making things easier to advertise whatever we have to advertise online or whatever. But the consensus was the way things are in Harrisburg, it probably won't get done. One of the other topics came up with stormwater. I guess stormwater is probably, if it not isn't already, is going to get as bad as sanitary sewer fees and whatnot we have. And one of the solicitors brought up the fact that in Brentwood and in other municipalities, they have they call it a fee, a stormwater utility fee, which they charge the amount of impervious property you have. I guess that's the paid property on your property. So I don't like getting fees or taxes, but down the road was something we might have to think about. Reassessments, the county's working on a plan for reassessment. What they stressed was there would be no windfall for the county. I mean, there's a strict limit on how much they can put onto they can't get an exorbitant amount of money for the taxes. And there's also a protection for senior citizens built into the thing. It's brought up it costs $30 million to do a traditional boots on the ground reassessment. One of the ways it could possibly be done a lot cheaper would be artificial intelligence. Reassessment should be statewide, but as stated earlier, the way things are going in Harrisburg, they've been dealing with this for years, so it's probably not going to happen. And they would like to get it statewide because it's not fair. Say if Allegheny County reassesses, but the surrounding counties don't, then we get screwed basically. But that's all I got.
Thanks, Joe. Nino, you have anything to?
Well, I was impressed with the county employees, the director, and I was absolutely very, very impressed. The county, I mean, they say, call us, and if you need, we'll be there, we help you. I was very excited that every place we go, we can talk to them one-on-one, and I was really happy with that, all the direction and everything. Thank you.
Nick?
Yeah, they both ran wonderful points of things that we did encounter at ALUM. One of the other things I think Justin recommended she's going to speak about was ADA compliance and communication with communities on our websites. I'll let her speak a little bit more about that. Joe did speak about the stormwater prevention. Actually attended some really nice financial ones about different funding opportunities and ways where we actually eliminate some things. I spoke with Joe about that earlier about Bill.com. Some communities are using that to eliminate their processing fees altogether for ACH, cash development and sales. So that gives us an opportunity to possibly save money. Made some really good connections with other local leaders as well. They had some ideas about sharing products and so forth. Brought up some EMS and fire safety drills. Spoke with Crafton briefly with that as well. Had some conversations with Southgate and Scott Township and Collier about different ideas. They're really excited about the TDP project we have going on right now here on the South End. So things are looking encouraging with the communities. Collier did have some conversations with them about some of their projects they're working on, specifically if anybody's heard about the mixing project that will actually not just affect Collier Township, but will could potentially protect all of Chartiers Valley. So listening and keeping our ear to the ground with what those things may be further down the road is something we potentially be prepared for as well, tax brackets. Beyond that, think Justine has some things, and Shane has some things
Shane.
I'd like to include as well.
Shane, you have anything?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Sorry I can't be there. Nino, you sound great on this Skype call or whatever this is. I can hear him clear as a bell. Justine, you're muffled, so, clear that up, please. Had a great time in Avon. Met with a few of the parks people. Actually, the individual that was running the project at Chartiers Park 1 was there, and we spoke to him about a couple other ideas. Joe Cower, as you know, he's great to work with. He's very active all around the greater area of Pittsburgh, so that was great. There's another vendor there. We talked about possibly resurfacing the tennis courts at McLaughlin Run, possibly for some more pickleball, which I know Jason Ferry and Mayor Betty are enthusiastic about. They play, I think, week, believe me. And then we were going to look at the Chartiers Park basketball hoop area as well with this resurfacing company. And then there was another company there that did bench donations. Not so much donations, but there's a way that we could look at maybe putting some benches along Chartiers Creek. I know we got a big fishing population. And it was pretty neat. I brought some of this stuff back, and when we do have our parks meeting, hopefully coming up now that the baseball season's officially started tonight, the latest update I have from ESPN is that Bridgeville is beating CIT 4-1 in the top of the fifth. So stay tuned. The over/under is 7 in that game, so it's looking good. You took the under. But no, I had a great time with Justine and Nino and Joe and Nick up there, and I look forward to keep working on good things. So thank you very much. Service is not great here with the weather, so I apologize if you can't hear me.
All right, thank you. All right, as far as I'm concerned, what I thought was interesting is that the state is working in the Senate for landslide insurance up to $150,000. So that those people, since everybody is familiar with the fact that landslides are going to continue to be a problem, the state is actually looking into landslide insurance, similar to mining insurance. So, as Nick mentioned, personally I found out that all web pages have to be ADA compliant. So I came into Joe this morning and said, oh yeah, we're already ADA compliant. So if you go on the webpage for Bridgeville Borough, you'll see at the lower left-hand corner a little symbol. You hit that and it'll come up with how to enlarge the fonts and volume and so forth. All right. And then the other thing that I found interesting was there's a group called PennVest, which is they provide private citizens low-cost loans for residents to repair their sewer system. So as knowing that the issue has occurred in Bridgeville, all right, and we need every help because it's not cheap. But anyway, so I thought that was interesting. But yeah, I thought we had a really wonderful time interacting with all the other people that were around. I learned a lot. So, all right, that's my report. Jason on finance?
Yeah, we do not have any reports for the finance committee this month.
Parks and Rec? Anybody? Shane? You. Anything else, Shane? Shane, wake up.
Wake up, Shane.
They're open, this is the name.
Shane!
Okay. Public
Things
Works.
aren't working, I apologize. Baseball season started. Again, kudos not to steal Jason Strasnick's fire, but the parks guys have got the grass cut and it's looking great down there. We had a slight bit of flooding, but the guys took care of it. Garbage cans are out, concession stands cleaned, and the water's on thanks to the borough guys. I think Gene Clava had to fix something for us to get the water fully working, but good to go. Come down and catch out a game any night of the week, and Church League softball will be starting tomorrow as well. So it should be busy down at the park.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Public Works. Jason
A
Strasnick.
couple things. So the curbside brush collection is underway. Started April 7th and will be collected through May 1st. We'll be starting with the street sweeping underway through May 1st. After May 1st, we'll perform on the third week of each month at business districts every Wednesday morning.
business district maintenance. It's just that Public Works Regional want to relocate a sculpture from the Triangle Park to the library and remove the mailman sculpture from the borough building. Started seeing leaf. And just doing regular truck maintenance and ongoing maintenance around the buildings.
Thank you. Public safety, Nick?
Just want to report that we will meet after today's meeting. We'll have an update for you our next meeting. Beginning to look into our police department. New contracts.
All right. Shore West Council of Governments, Joe C.
I've got a couple little things here. Nino, when I attended the meeting in Green Tree last month, and Matt Chapman from the Cog Fire Department Association Group, he was there and he was mentioning the county is continuing to try to work on staffing problems along the fire departments. And they're talking about staffing several departments for 4 people through the work Monday through Friday during the day. So it's in the works. Supposedly it's going to happen. I'll have to wait and see on that. Also, Green Tree mentioned there's a program called the A-Team Social Workers. There are social workers on call. If police departments have issues with talking somebody out of a bad situation or something like that, you can call these people and they'll come out and try and talk the person down. So that was interesting. And the next meeting is down in Double Township on Wednesday.
Thank you. Go ahead.
One conversation that Justin and myself were able to have with the local community was they actually started to bring in their own service workers. So they have their own social worker team coming in, and their brief conversations that we had with them was to say, hey, is this something that our region may need? Do we want to maybe develop a shared group to bring in social workers, maybe help alleviate some things that our police department maybe should be getting involved with or should be doing. So it's just a conversation starter, but knowing the shade that jogged my memory.
Collier's person starts this week. They got grant money.
So Collier
Scott has received grant money for a social work. That's to be discussed. All right, Mayor Betty.
I just have one thing. I was surprised to find in my email a request from a gentleman in Argentina who wants to connect his 100-year-old grandfather, Erwin Kern, with Sam Simon Kern or any other of the Kern relatives. And I told him that I would ask if any of our folk know any Kern people that lived here. And if not, then I'll have to turn it over to Lisa at the Bridgeville Historical Society, and she'll have it search archives.
Current C-U-R-R-E-N?
K-E-R-N. And I think he says that this Sam Simon was probably a teacher here at one time.
It sounds familiar.
There's Kearns in Scott Township.
Yeah.
I put it on Facebook. I was hoping somebody was going to respond, but so far nothing. So that's it. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mayor. Police Department, Chief James.
You all have my monthly report. I just want to point out a couple of things to go along with what the ladies were talking about up on Winfield. We have been making a concerted effort to observe and enforce the traffic laws throughout the borough. Just during the months of March, we designated almost 200 instances where the officers were out sitting at intersections or running active track for speed along roadways that we're actually able to do that on. During the month, we issued 111 traffic tickets last month alone. We also issued 109 warnings, along with performing 911 calls for service last month. So the officers have been very, very busy, and they've been very, very active, and they're out in the community. And we're trying to address a lot of the issues that we know are one of the biggest concerns of residents, and that is traffic. So we're out there doing the best we can to slow people down, get them to stop at your stop signs, and we are enforcing it, and we're enforcing it vigorously.
Thank you, Chief.
copy of our report. Also, two items to bring up to speed on. The sanitary sewer O&M project has started for this year. So you'll see the instruction around. And then we're working with Alcastan and the upstream communities for the C53 project, which is down on Baldwin. Baldwin Avenue there. One of the things we need to work with Joe on right now is looking for all the inverter relations in the basements of all those buildings over there so that we can design the sewer systems that we can try to make so they go back and thing. So that's one of the goals to this, as well as solve some of the C53 folks.
Fire chief is not here. Southbridge EMS, Dan Miller.
Report's been submitted, I have nothing to add.
Bridgeville Historical Society, Lisa Shady.
Hi, I'm Lisa. I volunteer at the History Center. We now have the cookbooks on sale. They're $25, and we have the Roaring Twenties banquet. Their tickets are $50 an individual. So they're on sale at the History Center. If it's convenient for you, come on down Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday from 10 until 2. In April, our program is the last Tuesday held at the fire department, and Ray, our fire chief, is actually going to give a talk on safety, so that should be really interesting. One of our biggest fundraisers is May 7th and 8th. It's our bake sale, so please stop down and see us. Our membership's still open for new members, renewals, and you notice on our sign, we thank our corporate sponsors every month. And this month we're thanking Cerasinics and Vision Source South Hills. So all those contributions are real important to us.
How many members do you have?
This year so far renewed, we only have like 58, but in total, I would say 200. Because I know we mail out about 125 monthly announcements. And then we have a lot of emails that we mail out our announcements on MailChimp monthly. We encourage everyone to stop. And there's a lot of fun stuff. And I see I have an assignment tomorrow.
Bridgeville Library Representative Aaron Weaver.
Do you mind if I interject real quick? The cookbook you mentioned, I assume that's with the Bridgeville 125
Yes, it is.
collection.
Yes,
Do you know
it
how
is.
much that is? Like $25.
25.
All right, cool.
All right, Aaron Weaver from Bridgeville Library.
We actually have a lot of things going on this week. Our used book sale is Friday and Saturday, the 17th and 18th. It'll be from 10 to 3 both days, and that'll be a bag sale. And Saturday, in addition to the book sale, we have 2 other things going on. We have a Dine to Donate fundraiser with Chipotle. That'll be from 4 to 8 p.m. And then we also have the Society of Sculptors will have their opening reception for the month-long exhibition. That will be open to the public, and that's Saturday the 18th as well, from 5 to 7 p.m. Anyone can stop on down, and like I said, that exhibition will be there until mid-May. And our friends also have their spring basket raffle going on, and the winners will be pulled on April 25th. Thank you.
All right, Parking Authority, Debsey.
Coward. Colosimo, real easy. It's a plug for the Historic Society. They have a lifetime membership, which saves you from getting to join every year. I mean, Joe and I we're lifetime members now.
I took
Hopefully
the
we get
gamble
money's
and I
worth.
won so far, so it's working.
He gambled, he said, so far so good. Okay, the Parking Authority will meet here in these chambers next Monday, April 20th at 7 o'clock. Our annual lot landscaping and cleanup will begin in the spring of 2026, which means it's started now. We pick up trash in all the lots monthly. The Bridgeville Borough Parking Authority has reached out to the DA Zappallo's office requesting assistance to help offset costs on upgrades of our current camera system. Now, this is a camera system that's installed in all of our lots, and it's used by the police department as well as the parking authority. And I guess the police department probably uses more to see what shenanigans might be going on. We catch foolishness, but you know, it's a good, and what happened is our equipment is, outdated, I guess. It needs revamped, so we're seeing if he has a grant, and so far it looks pretty good. He was at Seven Springs, which of course I was there also, and I wanted to have a chance to talk to him, but somebody invited us to Helen's that night, so I missed Tom McDermott. But anyhow, I'll get a hold of VA and I'll talk to him. The BVPA continues to operate in the black, which is always good. And we are now still researching the electric vehicle charging station options along with PennDOT NEVI community charging funding. The opportunities throughout 2026 for support funding. So we're reaching out and looking for grants and ways to improve our parking lot and allow electric vehicles to be charged while they're dining in our local restaurants. And we have future topics for discussion. We're going to talk about this next week. The increase in ticket pricing and making Lot 2 is a premier pricing lot. Immobilization of vehicles with multiple open violations and online issuance of permits. We've been checking these things out with our solicitor, and we think it's going to be a good thing because in our plans, and we piggybacked on the borough's paving to repave lot number 2, which is in desperate need of repairs. And how we pay for those repairs, you put your money in the meter, and if you don't, you get your fine. So, and that's where it's at. So we need to look at increasing some of the costs so that we can cover the repair of this desperately needed parking lot.
Thank you, Dick. Borough Manager, Joe Carr.
A couple of items on grants. We submitted a grant application to DCNR to help make up that funding gap we got on the Park Lighting project for the ball fields. So hopefully we'll know in the fall if it's awarded or not. Working on another grant application for that same project to another state grant, park grant program. We received a pledge of $5,000 towards the Main Street sculpture from County Hauling, Noble Environmental, and we're waiting to hear on the County Main Street grant that we signed last month. So there was some progress made on that project. Regarding the FEMA brick money that we lost last year, FEMA is telling us that FEMA is starting to resume the reviews of the projects that were canceled that are now supposed to be court ordered to get back. So we're hoping to get our first question for reviews very soon. But the FEMA office is telling us that they're now acting. The 2025 audit is underway. The smaller DCD financial report was filed with the state earlier this month, and the auditor will be here at our May 11th council meeting to present the audit to council. There was really, so far, no issues, no findings or observed. The 2026 annual guide was mailed out last week. Some copies on the table. The second quarter newsletter gets mailed out tomorrow. Both of them were posted on the website. The only other thing was that the annual Easter egg hunt was held a couple weeks ago. It's a joint effort between the fire department and the borough. It was a really nice event, well attended. I thank everyone who volunteered and showed.
It was the biggest one we ever had.
Jason, it was a really good.
There was 400.
Easy.
There's
It's
over
one of those-
5,000 eggs were stuffed.
It's one of those events where like 10 minutes beforehand, there's like 3 people, and then at 11, there's hundreds of people. It's really unique. So it was a good event, and I thank everyone that helped make it happen.
Madam President, I think you missed the
I
point.
did. I apologize greatly, immensely for my condition.
Unforgivable.
May we have your report?
So thanks to council for approving the motion for the Pittsburgh Pottery application. We worked on that last month. We were also working on, so part of the comp plan was downtown business development. So we are going to be working over the next several months on defining what our vision is, what our objectives are for that project, and then we're going to build a project plan so that we can work through what that business development, getting that started and off the ground. We're also working on a project to rank all of the open projects and items that we have on our list, ranking them based on cost, ease of implementing, and the impact to the community. Thank you. So we'll be discussing that at the April 27th meeting. Just a reminder that the Earth Day cleanup is scheduled for this Saturday, starting at 9 a.m., meeting here at the Borough Building. And then gloves and bags and safety vests here for everyone who comes. And then a few of us are attending a webinar being put on by the PA Association of Boroughs on common parking issues and curbside management, and that's this week. That's our report. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, and that, there's no new business, so any other comments, questions, or things that we need to discuss?